This is going to be quite a juicy video. Yeah, guys, also we own neither Mi Technovation or Edelteq. Obviously, Edelteq, the balloting has not completed yet, so there's no chance for us to own. And of course, now what we say should be taken as financial advice. Always do your own research. Hey guys, if you're interested in building a 6 to 7 figure portfolio using the power of stock investing, head over to the comment section or the description to sign up for our free masterclass so that we share with you exactly how we do it. So, if you guys didn't know, one of the biggest news over the past week is that Mi Technovation sued, or at least they had a writ of summons, I believe, for one of the leaders at Edelteq, mainly because, you know, in the Edelteq prospectus, it is said that this person had a stint, about 1 year stint at Mi Technovation as the chief operating officer, and Mi Technovation say that that is misleading or inaccurate information to that extent.
Exactly. Yeah, so if you guys are seeing this text, right, this is actually just a clickbait only. It's actually me versus the CEO. It's not me versus Edelteq.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a big difference, all right? Okay, so what's funny is that in our Edelteq IPO analysis or IPO watch, if you haven't watched it, please do check it over here. We did mention about the director's background, and the reason why we talk about it is because the work history is very long. And
Yes.
I think he worked for every single company like around 1 to 2 years duration. I mean, there is some companies that he worked for very long, and funny enough, we didn't really highlight that he worked at Mi.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just like briefly say only. But back then also, there wasn't really much of information that stayed a lot. Yeah, so yeah, if you didn't know already, you can just check out the video here.
So what is now upon second viewing, right? What's interesting is that his designation is like quite uncertain also. It's like chief operating officer come general manager. So it's like, hey, wait, what?
Yeah, but
like
I think memang but I think memang the title was like that when in the right of summon. Later I think we shall see whether it is the same. Okay, so what happened? Just now, I mean, we kind of already told you there is actually a right of summon against Mr. Yong Keong, who is the former COO come general manager of Mi Tech. And the reason why is because he actually breach of employment the contract. He also abused of legal process, and there's a false or misleading statement contained in his profile. But that is basically what Mi is trying to say. It's trying to tell us. We don't know what is the entire story because we are not really acquaintance to any of these companies or nor the CEOs, but we shall have a look at the content. Okay, so this is the gist of it. Basically, this is coming from Mi Technovation site. The ones that I highlighted is basically maybe something that you want to check out. So the first thing that I noticed is that the CEO wrote to me that they alleging that the company had breached the employment contract and demanded and he also demanded for his restoration of his responsibility and all of his scope of work. So basically, I think the CEO thinks that Mi breached the employment contract. Yeah.
Right.
Pretty confusing, but I'm just reading out what is stated over here. And then, basically...
Mi says that basically you're wrong.
There's no evidence. Yeah, exactly. And then because of this issue, right? So that's where the CEO starts to refuse to work since
for about a month and a half, about 5 weeks, if I see correctly.
And also he did file a representation of reinstatement in May. I believe this is May 2019. And before that, also he actually joined Edelteq in April 2019.
So that's where
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I believe the whole issue was not really solved out entirely. I mean, there's still like a process going on, but then he's joined Edelteq in the midst of all these things happening.
Well, obviously from Mi's perspective, they'll be thinking, wait, how do you join like this new company so quickly when you stop work at the end of March 2019 and suddenly April you already have Edelteq?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think that's where the confusion starts to arise lah. And then yada yada yada. There's a lot of thing that is basically trying to say that me thinks Mr. CEO is actually breaching the employment contract, and he actually gave a lot of misleading, and the material facts are actually not disclosed inside of his employment contract. So that is coming out from me.
Yeah, and so before you go on, right, I think the key part here is also that it gives the impression right at the end, right, that there was a mutual termination of his employment contract.
Yeah.
So he stated that I left in March, but me says no.
Yeah, there was like no mutual termination.
So that is misleading, yeah.
Yeah.
But guys, before we move on, if you're someone looking to level up their stock investing skills and you need a lot more guidance, we do have a one-on-one program called the Mentorship Program. If you're interested, you can apply it in the comment section or the description.
A few days ago, like 20th of May, Edelteq actually did a response to it, and then he laid out the chronology of events of everything. I don't think I'll go through every single bit of detail. It's just basically trying to say that his side of the story lah. That's what's happening. What's the
main takeaway?
Honestly speaking, I cannot really comment much also, because I mean,
it sounds like it's a technical issue.
Yeah.
It sounds like, you see, JPPM wrote to CYK to acknowledge his withdrawal. We already have these documents.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's always like both sides of the story. Like one side, they think that this party did something wrong.
Yeah.
But then this party think that he did the correct thing. Which,
straight away, my big question is, okay, I get the administrative side of saying you left and you didn't leave. But you see, this issue was in 2019. This is like pre-COVID. Right? This is ancient history, right?
Yes.
And why is it being brought up now? Why is it an issue when the information is on the prospectus? Why? But we'll let you think about it, but let's move on.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's interesting is because...
if it's a big issue... You have handled it in 2019.
Yes, exactly. Actually, that's what I thought also, that since before it actually goes to the public, right? I mean, prospectus usually will be in the Securities Commission. That's just like, it's just there just to tell the audience that this company is going public. So you got all the information stated over there. But I'm not trying to speculate, but after we did the video and after a few more YouTubers did the video, like talking about Edelteq, right? Then that's where the
so it's
summon
our
came.
fault, basically.
I'm not sure.
But you see, if I'm not denying that there could be some sort of error, or let's just say maybe even some sort of lack of professionalism to close this out on a black and white basis, whatever legal word you want to use. But it should have been knowledge to Mi Technovation that CYK has joined Edelteq, which would imply obviously that the previous role now doesn't exist, which is the COO / general GM role.
Yeah.
But that it didn't seem to be an issue, right? It's like if, let's say, you're now with FIRL and then let's say you leave to work on something else, the immediate assumption would be you are no more part of this.
Yes.
Right? So for 4 years, nothing really popped up. I mean, it's almost 4 years on the dot, right? 3rd of May.
Yeah, actually, that issue can be solved there and then in 2019.
And it doesn't require legal action. So anyway, we'll leave that question there. Let's move on.
Yes. Yeah, and actually there is more. Basically, the boards is trying to calm down the audience, is say that this is actually me trying to just trying to fight with Mr. CEO.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with Edelteq, and so there should not be any material impact on their financial position and operation. And also, UOB, KH actually did state that the prospectus pertaining to Mr. CEO, Mr. Chin YK, his profile is factual in nature and there's no false or misleading statements or other facts. And also, I mean, because of this issue, right, I believe there will be some subscribers who will be quite like scared or panic. So they actually allow you to withdraw your application.
I would say two things. The first is that, well, there may be no obvious material impact. However, at the end of the day, if you have a CEO embroiled in some sort of what seems on the surface very okay, I won't use that word, but I'll just say a legal saga, that has to have some sort of impact, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the leader lah,
right?
The leader of the company.
And all this is in public. What does this mean for the clients that may have business relationship with both these companies? What would they be thinking? You know, do they also want to really get involved in this kind of stuff? Who knows? The second thing is, I think it's a sign of strength, at least on the surface. The Edelteq say, hey, look, if we get it that, you know, this information was released after the application for the shares, which is another question you have to ask. Why is the timing so accurate, right? Why so precise? So again, just based on the public actions, I can tell that Edelteq seems to indicate through their actions that it's an unfortunate situation, and people who applied for the IPO do not like, it's unfair for them, right? Because this is information that appeared after the application.
Yes.
Obviously not in the prospectus, right? It's not like the legal letter came with the prospectus, right? So they're like, okay, since these applicants can't really, it's not fair on them, so let's open it up. So I think that's at least a move of strength. That's what I
say. Exactly. They stand firm for what they believe. And yes, so if you guys didn't know, they are opening for withdrawal of application from 20th of May. I believe it's 2 days ago, and the closing will be on the 26th of May. But actually be very interesting to see how many applicants actually withdrew. I mean, it would be funny if there's like 0 applicants withdrew.
I think that's a possibility, you know.
Yeah. But we shall see, and we shall see how is the subscription for this company going ahead. But yeah, the final comments is basically the impact. Definitely number one is the leader side. Is getting a lot of legal issue. I mean, you're talking about the management, the internet issue. That it needs to be solved like ASAP. Yeah, if it continues on, I believe it won't be it won't do good to the company as a whole. And also, whether you should withdraw your IPO, I mean, it depends. This one is really 50-50 to me.
Yeah, it's not wrong or right.
Yeah, it's not wrong or right also. I mean, if you withdraw also, it's okay. But if you don't, also it's okay. So
yeah, well, again, we obviously won't tell you what you should be doing.
Yeah.
As far as withdrawing or keeping it there. But there are 3 questions I think you need to ask. The first is, why is such a, at least on the surface, a small issue being put out in the public after 4 years? Number 2 is, why is the timing so timely right after the application closes? And number 3, will this actually have material impact? So obviously Edelteq's view is that there will be no material impact. But is that reasonable to you? Right? And figuring out whether it's reasonable or not will depend on how severe you think this accusation is by Mi Technovation.
Yes.
And if your answer is yes, then withdraw as in terms of severity, high severity. If the answer is no, then you keep.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it is still based on whether the company can still thrive in the future lah. Yeah.
Yeah, but this certainly is a first. To be fair, for me,
actually, this is the first.
I've seen it in this way, you know.
Yeah. Same here.
Alright guys, enjoying the video so far? If the answer is yes, remember, like, comment, subscribe. And as far as comments go, if you don't like the video, do let us know as well. We always take all sorts of feedback, as long as they're constructive.
Right, okay, so before you guys go, we actually have this FIRL Pro again, our FIRL Pro program. This is the portfolio performance for 28th of April. So has been doing very well. I mean, it is up 8% in this very quite a red and bloody market. And also, you can check out our Telegram portfolio, which is non-FIRL Pro portfolio, which is stocks that is not in FIRL Pro. But there's some catalysts in the short term that we need to share to our members, so you actually can get all of these ideas over there as quick as possible.
Right.
But the unfortunate or bad news that we need to tell you guys is that we're gonna be increasing the price for FIRL Pro. So it will no longer be $497 US. It will now be $60 more expensive after, or actually from 31st of May 2023. So if you want to get your hands on FIRL Pro before the $60 bump, make sure to get it now. But if you're still not convinced yet, we have a free sample for you. So we actually write a sample report, our sample big picture report, and also one of our SIB video. Everything is going to be inside this free sample. The links will be in the description and comments below. And I think that's it for today, guys. Whether we support me or Edelteq, I mean, we are kind of like a very neutral standpoint. We are not really involved or acquainted to any of these parties. So we are just a third party, like the bystander only, just trying to look and see and figure it out. And whether you want to withdraw or not withdraw your IPO applicant, that's totally up to you. I believe there's no right or wrong answer to that. But anyway, without talking already, make sure to check our previous video. I mean, we got a lot of nice and juicy content. Make sure to support us, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you next week.